And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the STC, week number 64. I'm of course ZvP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and my plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your weekly dose of Tuna Cup action. This is a weekly open tournament, open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes. We have players from all around the world coming together for this event, and we are jumping into our first series of the night. We are here in the round of 16, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion, we have our Indian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Maturino Esports. It is Demi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Teal Protoss, the South Korean Protoss player. It is LunaSea. Whew, oh boy. Welcome one and all. I do recommend checking out the bracket itself. The bracket is live, of course, !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is stacked, and we have some interesting players making their debut for the first time in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. I look forward to seeing them. I look forward to casting them later on in the tournament. We'll be there. We'll be there for those matches. Shout out to the tuna. Of course, shout out to the beautiful tuna himself in the middle of the map. And we'll be going over the bracket after this series. For the time being, though, we have our ZvP. Oh boy, we have our Zerg versus Protoss, and I'm curious how these two players will unfold. LunaSea has been very active over the past couple months, has been competing in so many online tournaments, has been improving. We have noticed that rate of improvement. Meanwhile, Demi has been a little bit more inactive throughout most of this year, and has more recently bounced back, more recently been active once again, playing and competing in tournaments. It's great to see the return of Demi, but how does Demi compare to a player that has been more active in the online tournament scene over the past year of play? We'll see. Because of course, Demi, known for his muta play, known for being quite aggressive as well. He did mention earlier, I think it was like last week, that Demi, he was talking about how he was looking forward to his OSC matches because he's been having a lot of fun. He's again not taking it as seriously as he once was. Demi is not as full-time, or is not as committed to practicing as much as he used to, but still is competing nonetheless, and has been having a good time doing so. I expect some cheese. Not gonna lie, Papi, not gonna lie. There was some banter going on between Demi and Rebellion just before the tournament started, where Demi was like, "Give me Rebellion," and Rebellion's like, can you stop proxy hatching me? Like, Rebellion was like, "Papi, please, can you calm down?" And Demi's like, "No, I'm never gonna stop." It's like, oh my god. And I'm sure we'll see that at some point this series. Not here in game 1, but I'm sure in game 2, game 3 onwards. Could be the case here from Demi. For the time being, Probe will delay the expansion. Demi goes for a Hatchgas Spool. Standard opener from our Zerg player so far. LunaSea, likewise, standard opener into a Stargate. We have our Stargate in the main base, everything looking so far as it should. And before I forget, oh my god, you know what time it is? It's time to get your Gamba going. Predictions are open. Thankfully, we're still here in the early game, but predictions should be open in the chat, so you can place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Ooh, you do have a little bit of time to do so. A little bit of time for that Gamba for the predictions. Here we go. As the Adept does initially threaten a shade. Again, just trying to get a read on what's going on, just trying to make sure that no additional gases have been taken. Nothing too crazy here in the bases of Demi. No early lair, no early gases or Roach Warren. And Demi is going to be mining through these middle patches. This is one of the big features of this map. Of course, you can expand on the left-hand side and take a more secure base instead. So Demi's working in that direction as his expansion was denied. Okay, we'll expand on the right-hand side and has opted not to continue mining those minerals. Okay. He opened up a little bit, but not fully. Is still locked, is still closed. Oracle dips into the main, 2 queens are in position. And so far, so good. The Oracle is fended off. Likewise, Twilight Council back at home. LunaSea opening up with what looks to be a more aggressive follow-up here. Typically, Stargate into a third base, but the third is delayed. The third is denied. And Demi will be feeling pretty good about killing that probe, but as we can see, I mean, there wasn't going to be an expansion. Twilight Council, I imagine, into Glaive Adepts. We'll keep an eye on LunaSea. What do we go for? What do you have for us? For now, fighting for the expansion, we'll lose a second probe. And no tech of choice yet, no upgrade of choice either. Still waiting for that gas to mine up. LunaSea is going to be expanding, and there it is. The glaives are on the way. So it's going to be a glaive up follow-up here by LunaSea, designed to be hidden from the eyes of Demi. The Phoenix, of course, hunting down Overlords, making it that much more difficult for Demi to scout. So a very cheeky build here by LunaSea. It looks normal, it looks standard, it's anything but. And Demi, does he cut corners? Thankfully, safety Roach Warren has been thrown down. Demi will have access to Roaches. If not, if he thought it was a standard game, and if he thought it was headed towards a longer game stage, Demi might be tempted to skip the Roach Warren and go straight into Hydras instead, or into Mutas. Demi's playing it safe, shuts down the pylon, and denies one pylon, getting into the probes as well. One probe going down, but the Adepts, they should be able to fend off these Lings. I say that Lings are getting quite a lot done at the same time. Oracles are getting to the main. No Spore. And no Spore in position. 8 drones go down. Very nice counter damage here from LunaSea. Meanwhile, across the map, Lings did kill an Adept, but just one. Just the one Adept did go down. The expansion is safe. It's finally going to get up and running, and more Adepts are on the way. More Adepts are warping in. Soon going to be sent across the map. Now, on the one hand, Demi does have the Roach Warren, true, and Demi throws down a Spire because it's Demi. I mean, he loves the Spire, he loves the Muta play, he is the Muta king of the sea, if you will, but I don't see any Roaches. Demi is droning, Demi has minimal units, Adepts are moving out across the map, and Demi has almost nothing to defend. Demi has 0 Lings, 0 Roaches, Demi has 6 Queens, and 16 Lings are in production. Demi is being caught with his pants down. Yeah, Demi's not ready for this again. He was expecting a longer game state. He skipped out on Roaches, skipped out on Army. Queens are going to go down. Oh, it's going to be 3 Queens falling. GG gets called, and LunaSea will take game number 1. I feel like I just watched a live VIP ladder game. Where it's like, everything looks normal, everything looks fine. You throw down the safety Bailey nest, you see that he's expanding. It's like, oh, okay, I should be safe to drone. No, papi, no. you're never safe to drone, never safe. Again, it was difficult for Demi to get a read on what was going on because his overlords were being hunted down by the Phoenix. But unfortunately, Demi didn't have any spotter units in the center of the map, and Demi did not make any safety roaches either. I should also emphasize as well that Demi, he wasn't just, you know, being greedy in a way, but also being greedy tech-wise as well, by throwing down that Spire and by trying to work towards Mutas in the midst of that aggression, of course. So Demi was punished quite hard, and GG, LunaSea takes the game. GG, well played. There goes the pants. Exactly. The pants. They were nowhere to be found. They were down. And again, there was 0 units to defend. There were 0 Lings, 0 Roaches. There were 6 Queens, but again, Queens against all those Adepts, they have a hard time keeping up, and they're not ideal to fight off against Adepts in head-on fights and head-on engagements. And with that, game 1 is in the books. But now we're jumping into game number 2. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkion, and we have our Indian Zerg player down in the series. I'm hoping we can bounce back. Representing Match Arena Esports, it is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, but up in the series, it is LunaSea. And again, what I will say is that if LunaSea wasn't going for an insanely fast Twilight Council after the Stargate, if he wasn't going for a cheeky build like that, then Demi would have been in a beautiful position. He had a 3rd base, had a 4th on the way, he was droning up, he was getting to a Spire like Demi. Was soon to kind of reach his final form in that mid game with his Muta play, and he would have popped off. He was already doing amazingly. He was delaying the expansion for so long. He was killing some probes, killing some Adepts. Like, it wasn't a bad start for Demi, just didn't know what was coming and was a little bit too greedy there. We'll see if Demi can temper himself a little bit and maybe play a little bit safer, or just be a little bit more adept at scouting and figuring out what exactly LunaSea is up to. See how Demi does adjust. For now, no proxy. No proxy hatchery from Demi. Demi going hatch gas full so far. Standard opener from our Zerg player. And we'll see where this takes us. I guess my eyes have to be on LunaSea mostly. I mean, he was the one that did go into that fast fire council into Glaives before the 3rd base. Could do it again. Could do something different. LunaSea is known for his aggression. There's a reason why he picked his name, of course. He's crazy. LunaSea, all things. For the time being, standard opener, just gate expand into Cybercore. Probe is harassing across the map, being as annoying as possible. Just trying to force some inefficient mining before moving on out. Queens are on the way, Lings are on the way. LunaSea, I'm sure, would want to try and delay the third base for as long as he can with a pylon block. Outside of that, should be fended off. And Demi should be able to expand. It's on LunaSea to make sure that that's happening. Back at home, Stargate. Stargate has been thrown down. And this should be for another Oracle-based opener. It could be for Void Rays. That would be an interesting turn here, an interesting twist for LunaSea. Probe is going to be chased down. Back at home, Demi is expanding. And as the Adept moves out, Demi does pull back with those links. Doesn't want to lose them to the Adept. And again, we're just waiting to see what the initial unit of choice. Now, I would not be opposed to LunaSea opening up the exact same way. I'm referring to going Oracle first, into Phoenix, into another Oracle. The reason why I would love to see that, and it's going to be Phoenix first, which I don't think was quite the case last time, but again, Phoenix first regardless. What I love about this is that it looks quite similar to the previous game, and because of this, in the back of Demi's mind, it could be Glaive Adepts again, right? It could be a Glaive Adept follow-up, or it could be a standard game. Like, you're kind of giving the Zerg player this uncertainty here. Just because it looks similar to the previous game doesn't mean it has to be. And it's just a nice way to play out the series, a nice way to try to pull a fast one and make your opponent overthink and over-respond and overreact to what you're doing. Overlord is shut down. Once again, Demi kind of rely on Overlords to scout. He's pulling back those Overlords, making sure they're safe and sound. Phoenix is moving out. Oracles are on the way. Now, do we throw down the Twilight Council again? Or do we just expand? Again, I wouldn't be... Oh, there it is! It is neither. It is going to be tech first, though. Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon is on the way, and how does Demi scout this? For the time being, he cannot. He just has to play as safe as possible and hope to go for an Overseer Scout later on. Second Stargate is in place. This should be a Tempest rush for LunaSea. There are some carrier rushes that you can go for, but I'm imagining Tempest. Regardless, either or, both have their own place. And were popularized on this map as well last year by Classic, if you recall, in GSL. Animal. Third base is being taken. So far, everything looks pretty similar to the previous game. That's the thing. And there we go. Tempests are on the way for LunaSea. Now, this should not be pure Skytoss. I mean, we could go one of two ways. We could either just embrace Skytoss, go for like a third Stargate and just go ham. Or it could be initially 4 to 6 Tempests into a ground-based army, into Blink Stalkers or Chargelot Archon and hard switch and hope that your opponent overreacts and makes too many Corruptors. Meanwhile, 5-minute Roach Warren at an okay time is thrown down defensively. Demi now taking extra gases, going for the lair in the main. Revelation keeping an eye on the tech, and so far Demi happily droning. This Roach Warren tells us that Demi wasn't really thinking of Glaive Adept aggression. It's quite a late Roach Warren in comparison, but we'll have it nonetheless. As we know, Roaches won't really be too effective against a Tempest. Demi has yet to confirm what's going on. With the completion of the lair, he can try to move out across the map with an Overseer. And Tempests are still amassing. Oof, that's already 3, soon to be 5 Tempests for LunaSea. And the Tempests are moving out, and the Lings will confirm. Yeah, Lings will spot this. Now Demi knows. This is an early scout for Demi, so he can respond with Spore Crawlers, with additional Queens, and with a Spire. Spire or Hydrogen, they both have their place. It is going to be the Spire for Demi. And Spores are on the way. Now again, Demi did have a couple of extra crucial seconds to respond. And the Queens should be amassing. Tempest coming in. Spire is spotted. So if I go to kiting. And there's that transition. Forge, Twilight Council should be +1 and either blink or charge. Extra gateways on the way. LunaSea has stopped Tempest production. It is going to be how many? It's going to be 5 Tempests. 5 Tempests in total. Takes out the Spore, gets a Queen. Gets 1 Queen already. Ooh, almost gets a second. Ling's moving out for a counterattack. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have an overcharge. And a backup shield battery on the way. Another queen goes down. Lings have arrived, but again, there's plenty on the ground. They do rotate over towards the natural. Adept is under fire. More queens falling. And the Adept is going to go down. Lings, they can flood in. They can and they will. And more importantly, they get a full scout. They get eyes on all the gateways. Now, Demi knows it's going to be a ground toss transition. No other production here for the Stargates. Ooh, but every queen is falling. 12 Corruptors on the way. Queens, they have bought time. And these Tempests are going to have to get the hell out of here. One Tempest already going down. There's 4 Tempests left. And ideally, you do want to save these Tempests. Oh, but that's a lot of damage, though. That's 11 drones falling. 11 drone kills. Corruptors are just about to pop out. And they should force a recall. Can we get the base? It's close. Can we get the expansion? We can and we will. The expansion will go down. Going for the recall. 1 Tempest falls. 3 Tempests survive. A good trade for LunaSea. LunaSea snipes. How much was it? Oh, 15 drones, 9 queens, and a hatchery. Demi stuck on 3 bases, and again, remember, he stopped making Skytoss units, has some safety void rays, but is going to +1 Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers are amassing, +2 is now on the way. Again, is a hard switch to ground toss instead. Gold base in production as well. And Demi has to make use of these Corruptors. They're going for the Nexus. Not bad. Late reaction by LunaSea. Nothing in position. Blink is not done. And this Nexus, oh, it will go down. Nice pickup. Nexus does fall. Demi not losing a single Corruptor. Will pull away. LunaSea re-expanding. Taking the natural. Oh, Demi. Okay, just make sure he breaks free from that supply block. Demi is still in this. Has plenty of Corruptors left over. Rotating over, it gets eyes on the gold. Oh, can't do much about it. Not yet. Has to wait for the Caustic Spray to recharge. Now he's focusing on Ling Roach Ravager. I mean, especially because of the investment into these Corruptors, Demi doesn't really have the ability to transition into Hydras. So just for now, Roach Ravager. Likewise, LunaSea still building up, still trying to replace that expansion. At this point, maybe worth double expanding. Yeah, there we go. He does double expand. LunaSea trying to build up. Likewise, Demi has recovered, retaken his 4th, now taking a 5th base. Probe will confirm. Random scouting probe. Let's go. Does get eyes on the expansion. And I'm not so fond of LunaSea moving out. I'm fond of him denying creep. Like, fighting for creep, fighting for map control, clearing up everything here in the center of the map. But Demi is maxed. He's maxed out with Ling Roach Ravager. Has some Banelings in the mix as well. Bailing speed on the way. LunaSea, no detection. The Robo is still in production. Fighting on creep is going to be brutal. And Corruptors dive in. They catch a Tempest. 1 Tempest goes down. Void Ray as well. Yeah, LunaSea has to get the hell out of here. Not like this. Couldn't be caught on creep. Not with this kind of army. And LunaSea loses almost everything in the sky. At the same time, Zelarombai, ooh, we'll get into the mineral, but the Banelings! Oh my god! The Banelings will shut this down. Zelda cleaned up. Demi's expansion was denied. That was a cancel, not a kill on the hatchery. But now LunaSea is stuck with a subpar army. What I'm referring to is a lack of splash damage. Whether it's Storm, whether it's Colossus, whether it's Disruptor. He has none of it. Only Stalker. Only Blink Stalker. Demi has done well recovering here, despite losing so much. Again, he lost 15 drones, and a base, and 9 queens. Demi's bounced back, diving in the army, zoning back the Stalkers at the same time. Ooh, wreaking havoc in the mineral line. Doesn't quite get many workers, though. Does soften them up. Wall of Spines has been thrown down. Corruptors, they go for the expansion once again. A bold move by Demi. Can he get it? Oh, it's going to be close. And he barely will. The expansion up. Does he get it? No! Oh my god. Barely doesn't. 17 HP. One more second. One more second would have been enough for the last. Demi loses every single corruptor. That was a brutal loss, actually. And that suddenly means that going back into Skytoss is viable. I say that 7 more corruptors are on the way, but LunaSea can go back into that if he so chooses. Demi trying to anticipate that. For the time being, still Mass Blink Stalker. Zealot Warping getting ready. I have Zealots towards the south. Zealots into the main. LunaSea trying to hold his own while preserving those warp pins. And speaking of, Prism gets into the main. And we're waiting for that big warp in. Oh, likewise, Zealots actually raced back home. They weren't. I mean, there's a wall of spine crawlers, so there's not much they could have done. We get 4 Zealots in the main. The Prism does have a warp in available. Oh, maybe not too many gateways though. There we go. Oh no! The warping is denied! Warping is denied, but Zealots hit the left-hand side, and LunaSea is going right down mid. He's going right through the center. Ultras are not yet ready. That is a wall of spine crawlers though. Hatchery goes down. Spine crawlers are going to be targeted. The worst trades here from LunaSea. Zealot's still in the main. LunaSea pulling back. The one Zealot still wreaking havoc. Going, oh, it has clicked on the hive, not on the drones. So not too much damage. Is going to be cleaned up. Now Demi does hold, but this location, this base is now vulnerable. It's now vulnerable. That wall of spine crawlers is no longer there. It's going to try to be replaced. 4 more spines on the way, but the Zealots are ready. That's a lot of Zealots. Meanwhile, when it comes to splash damage, Storm has been researched. Storm is available, but no High... There we go. High Templar now coming in from the back line. 4 High Templar, each with 1 Storm. Zealots, they hit the 4th. Main army rotates towards the left-hand side. Do we have those Storms? Yeah, 2 Storms here. They blanket the Roach Ravager. Oh, the Storms though! The High Templar! High Templar exposed! Every High Templar goes down. No more Storms. Fungal will connect. Reinforcements coming from the right-hand side as well. Stalker's getting caught out. Expensive losses here for LunaSea. At the same time, Baling counterattack does get 15 probes. And Demi holds. Demi does defend against LunaSea as High Templar were exposed. Back up, High Templar warping in. LunaSea plummeting in supply. Did get a base earlier, but alas, Demi is holding. More Zealots trickling in. Spine Crawlers are ready this time. Oof. Paling Runby hits the gold. And LunaSea down to 61 probes. He's got a mothership on the way, getting to Immortal production as well. I mean, he's forced to. Immortals, they do quite well against Roaches, Ravagers, and Ultras, more importantly. God. As 13 more probes go down. LunaSea still trying to recover. Throwing down spotter pylons. Again, makes sense, but the damage has already been done. Demi was able to catch at LunaSea off guard. Meanwhile, Demi building up his own ultra-based army. The upgrades aren't as ideal, but he has kindness plating and ultra speed. Just now starting up 3-3. Going to shout out to Kid Chillin' in the chat. God, Baby God. Thank you so much. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. This is still our first series of the night. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Bracket is stacked. The bracket is live. Welcome. Bienvenidos. As Demi once again going for those Baling Runbys. This time going to run into the Zealots, but he doesn't care. Does push past. And Demi going for the middle line. LunaSea will pull away. Yeah, the Balings, they won't get much done. And trading with Zealots, trading with shield batteries. The burrow! They try to burrow in the mineral line. One Baneling has potential. At the same time, LunaSea moving out. Oh, this time with plenty of storms. 6 High Templar, 6 storms. Archons are ready. Slow or Time Warp as well. Fungals are coming in. Oof. There's some brutal storms on the Ling Bane. The Ultras will break through. That was the last Fungal. And is there enough Zerg left over? The storms, they were just a little bit too good. LunaSea, he will take the fight. Rotates over, going for the fresh mining base. And Demi lost every single Ultra. He's got 1 Ultra left. It can be targeted down. Yeah, LunaSea smells blood in the water. GG gets called. Demi just doesn't have enough. At the same time on the 4th base, the mineral line did fall, and LunaSea will take the series 2-0, advancing onto the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to LunaSea. I was hoping for a back and forth. I was hoping for an ace match, and it wasn't a bad start for Demi. I mean, it was actually a rough start for Demi when it came to the Tempest and how much damage they dealt, but Demi was able to recover. He was able to bounce back, able to recover, able to shut down the initial gateway composition, the initial gateway follow-up. But unfortunately was outscaled. He was attempting to get into a more robust ultra-based army, but he was maybe losing too many drones, too many bases to really facilitate for that, and wasn't able to quite get there in time. And those storms were brutal. GG. GG, well played. LunaSea will advance on. And the question becomes, does he have an opponent? Does he have someone ready and waiting? Let's find out.